Heartland fans, gather around, because I have something really exciting to talk about today, and I know you're just as curious as I am. After that amazing season 19 finale, it feels impossible not to think about what is coming next. The ending gave us one of the biggest moments we have had in a long time, and it left all of us with so many questions. Is Amy going to accept Nathan's proposal? What will happen in the first episode of season 20? When will we finally be able to watch it? And of course, the question that always creates the biggest debate among fans: will season 20 be the final season of Heartland? So today, I want us to go through all of this together, step by step, in a way that makes sense, with strong details and a smooth flow. And yes, I will also share my theories, because honestly, Heartland is one of those shows where fans' predictions can sometimes feel almost as exciting as the episodes themselves. Let's start with the biggest moment from season 19, because that is where everything begins. The season ended with Nathan's surprise marriage proposal to Amy, and I have to be honest, when I saw it, I was shocked in the best way. It was one of those moments that makes you sit forward, almost like you are not watching a show anymore but living in that scene with the characters. It was emotional, it was sudden, and it was powerful because it was not just about romance. It was about Amy's future, Amy's healing, and Amy's next chapter. And if you look closely at how Amy reacted in that scene, it felt like the writers wanted us to believe that Amy is ready to move forward. She looked surprised, of course, but she also looked happy and touched in a way we have not seen for a long time. That is why my first prediction is very simple and very strong. I really believe that in the first episode of season 20, Amy will accept Nathan's proposal. Now, I know what many fans might be thinking. What about Ty? What about the love story that built Heartland for so many years? How can Amy move on? And trust me, I understand this better than anyone, because Ty is not just another character. Ty was a big part of the show's heart, and he was also a big part of Amy's identity as a character. Many of us still miss him deeply, and it is normal. Even now, when we watch old episodes, it is hard not to feel emotional because Ty and Amy together created some of the strongest and most beautiful moments in Heartland history. But here is the truth that the show has been slowly teaching us. Missing Ty does not mean Amy cannot live again. Loving Ty does not mean Amy must stay stuck in the past forever. Heartland has always been about healing, growth, and finding the strength to move forward even when life feels unfair. So even though it is painful, I think it is time we accept that Ty is gone, and Amy deserves a chance to have love again, not as a replacement, but as a new form of happiness. And this is exactly why Nathan's character matters so much. When Nathan first started getting close to Amy, many fans were not sure about him, and honestly, it made sense. We were protective. We did not want anyone to take Ty's place, and we did not want Amy to be hurt again. But over time, Nathan proved something very important. He is not trying to replace Ty. He is not trying to erase Ty's memory. He is simply showing up as a good person who cares, who is stable, and who respects the life Amy has been through. That is a big difference. And the show did a great job of showing us Nathan's character through small but meaningful moments, especially with Lindy. If you remember how season 19 started, Lindy was very distant toward Nathan. She had a wall up, and she did not want him around. From Lindy's point of view, her dad could never be replaced, and any man who came close to her mom felt like a threat. She saw Nathan as someone who might push her mom away from her father's memory. That kind of reaction is very real, and the show handled it in a respectful way. But what did Nathan do? He did not force himself into Lindy's life. He did not try to buy her love or act like he could fill Ty's role. Instead, he was patient. He respected her feelings. He showed kindness in a simple way. And slowly, Lindy changed. Over time, she began to feel safe around him. She began to smile with him. She began to trust him. And now, it is actually surprising how much Lindy enjoys being with Nathan. She always wants to play with his dog. She wants him to read her stories. And she seems comfortable with him in a way that shows real bonding. You can even say Nathan has become one of Lindy's favorite people, and that is such a big sign. In a show like Heartland, Family matters more than anything. So if Lindy accepts Nathan, that means Nathan is not just a boyfriend. He's becoming part of the family. Another reason Nathan makes sense for Amy is that he is honest, strong, and he does not hide things even when it would be easier to do so. We saw this clearly when it came to Gracie. Let's be real. In many shows, a man would protect his family member even when they are wrong, and that can create huge drama. But Nathan did not do that. Even though Gracie was his sister and even though it was difficult, Nathan did not hide what happened from Amy. He did not pretend things were fine. He faced it directly. He was honest about it. And he chose what was right, not what was comfortable. That is the kind of character who can build a real future with Amy, because Amy has already been through enough pain and lies in life. She does not need someone complicated. She needs someone steady. And then, in the season finale, Nathan did something that truly showed his commitment. He kept his sister away from the ranch because he did not want to lose Amy, and he did not want their relationship to suffer because of someone else's mistakes. That is not an easy decision. Choosing love and peace over family drama is hard. But Nathan did it, and it showed how seriously he takes Amy and Lindy. Also, we have seen again and again that whenever Heartland Ranch was in trouble, Nathan was there. He helped. He supported. He did not disappear when things got hard. He stood with them. And honestly, that reliability is one of the biggest reasons I think Amy is ready to say yes. So in my opinion, the first episode of season 20 will start with that proposal moment, and it will give us Amy's answer early. It would not make sense to drag it too long because the cliffhanger was already strong. Heartland usually does not keep fans waiting too long for a big answer, so I think Amy will accept. And after that, the show will move into the next stage, which is wedding preparation and future planning. And this is where the story becomes even more interesting, because marriage is not just a romantic moment. It is a life decision, and Amy's life is not simple. She has responsibilities, she has family ties, and she has a ranch that holds both love and pain for her. Now, let me share what I think will be the bigger arc of season 20. I believe we will see Amy and Nathan get caught up in wedding planning, but it will not be simple and perfect. There will be joy, yes, but there will also be emotional moments because Amy will be forced to face her past. Wedding planning always brings memories. It always brings comparisons. And for Amy, it will likely bring memories of her life with Ty. There will be moments where she feels excited, and then suddenly she feels guilty, like she is moving forward too fast. This is common for people who have lost someone. Even when they deserve happiness, they sometimes struggle to accept it fully. So I think season 20 will show this emotional conflict in a deep and respectful way, because Heartland always does well with emotions. But wedding planning is not the only big issue. There is another major change that might happen, and it could be the most important decision of the season. That is the idea of moving to Salt Spring Island. If you remember, Nathan's friend suggested he buy a ranch there, and the show planted that idea for a reason. Heartland does not put big details like that without a purpose. So I believe Nathan will not only propose to Amy, but he will also talk about moving there. He might say something like, "Let's start fresh. Let's build our own home." And for Nathan, that makes sense because he wants to create a new life with Amy and Lindy. He wants a place that is theirs. And for Amy, even though it will be a hard decision, it might actually feel like a healing step. Think about it. Heartland Ranch is beautiful, and it is full of memories, but it is also full of pain for Amy. Everywhere she looks, she remembers Ty. She remembers moments that made her happy, but she also remembers the loss. If she is starting a new chapter with Nathan, moving to a new environment might help her breathe. It might help her feel like she is building something new without constantly being pulled back into old sadness. This does not mean she will forget Ty. It just means she is allowing herself to live again. So yes, I think Amy might accept the move, even though she will struggle with it. Of course, the move would not be easy because Amy has family at Heartland. She has Jack, Lou, and everyone she loves. So the season might show strong emotional scenes where Amy debates the decision. Jack might be worried. Lou might feel emotional. They might not want Amy to leave the ranch that has been their home for generations. There could be arguments. There could be sadness. but there could also be understanding, because deep down, they want Amy to be happy. And if Salt Spring Island gives Amy a new start, they might support her, even if it breaks their hearts a little. This could create some of the best drama in season 20, because it would be emotional, realistic, and meaningful. Now here is where I want to share my big theory, and I need you to stay with me because this could be the most shocking part of season 20. I do not think the biggest surprise will be the wedding, and I do not think the biggest surprise will be the move. I think the biggest surprise will be a baby. Yes, I truly believe Amy and Nathan might have a baby in season 20. And I know some fans might feel unsure about this, but if you look at the direction the show is taking, it actually makes sense. If Amy is marrying again, the show might want to show her building a bigger family. Lindy already exists, of course, but having a baby with Nathan would represent a new beginning. It would show Amy's life expanding again. It would create a whole new type of storyline. It would also add excitement and emotional depth, because pregnancy storylines in Heartland are always full of emotion, family support, and growth. Imagine the scenes: Amy realizing she is pregnant, Nathan's reaction, Lindy's excitement, Jack's emotional response, and Lou planning everything like always. It would feel like a new phase of the show, and it would also make season 20 feel like a big season that truly changes the characters' lives. At the same time, I think Amy will still have moments of doubt. Even if she loves Nathan, she might still worry about whether she is ready for all these big changes. She might question whether she is moving too fast. She might wonder what Ty would think. These thoughts do not mean she is wrong. They mean she is human. And Heartland is great at showing human emotions in a gentle way. So I think we will see Amy go through a mix of excitement and fear, happiness and guilt, hope and sadness. But in the end, I believe she will choose happiness. I believe she will marry Nathan, move to a new ranch, and build a new family. That would be a powerful and beautiful story. And it would also show how far Amy has come. Now, let's talk about the other characters, because season 20 will not only be about Amy and Nathan. Heartland always balances the main story with side stories. And one of the most entertaining side stories in season 19 was the love triangle between Katie, Dex, and River. Their scenes were honestly some of my favorites because they felt young, fun, and full of energy. They had ups and downs, awkward moments and emotional moments. And even though season 19 ended on a sweet note for them, I do not think their story is finished. In fact, I think the writers will add a twist early in season 20 to keep things exciting. And my prediction is that Katie might confess her feelings to Dex. This would instantly change everything. Because if Dex feels the same way, then we will have a new kind of drama. It will not just be about friendship. It will be about feelings, loyalty, and choices. But here is the interesting part. In the season 19 finale, the show really emphasized how close Katie and River have become as friends. They showed that their friendship is strong and meaningful. And that is important because even if Katie has feelings for Dex, I do not think it will destroy her bond with River. Instead, it will create tension, yes, but the show will probably focus on how they handle it maturely. We might see the trio struggling, pulling away, coming back together, and learning. And honestly, this could be one of the most exciting parts of season 20 because it adds youth drama, emotional depth, and unpredictable moments. And in shows like Heartland, unpredictable relationships keep the story fresh. Now, let's talk about Jack and Lou, because after all the drama with Gracie, they deserve some peace. With Gracie completely gone now, I think Jack and Lou will finally have calmer days ahead. Lou has been heavily involved in ranch work, and honestly, it sometimes felt like she was doing too much and forgetting her personal life. So in season 20, I think she will focus more on her family, her kids, and maybe even some personal growth. She has been through so many ups and downs, and she deserves a season where she can breathe a little. As for Jack, I think he truly needs a proper retirement life now. Jack has been carrying Heartland for so many seasons, and even though we all love seeing him involved, it feels like the story is slowly preparing him to step back. He's already training Dex to become a rodeo rider, and that could become his new role: guiding, teaching, and supporting rather than carrying the weight of everything. It will still give him excitement, because Jack will never fully stop working, but it could also give him a softer, calmer storyline, which would be nice to see. Now let's talk about what everyone really wants to know: when will we watch season 20? Unfortunately, season 20 has not been officially renewed yet. And I know that can feel frustrating, because the cliffhanger ending clearly sets up more story. It is hard to imagine Heartland ending like that without giving us answers. That is why I believe the renewal is just a matter of time. Heartland is still very popular, and a show like this does not usually stop suddenly, especially after a major emotional cliffhanger. So even though there is no official confirmation, I think season 20 will happen. As for the release date, Heartland has a tradition. It often returns in the fall, and October is a common time for its new seasons. So if they follow the same pattern, I think season 20 could release in October 2026. Of course, this is just a prediction based on tradition, but it feels realistic. And if we get an official renewal soon, the chances of an October release become even stronger. So yes, I would say get ready for October 2026, because that could be when we finally return to Heartland. Now, we have to talk about the biggest question of all: will season 20 be the final season? This is a tough question, because Heartland is one of those shows that feels like it could go on forever, and many fans would love that. But if I am being honest, I think season 20 might be the final season. And here is why. Even in season 19, I started noticing some story repetition. We saw relationships break and fix again and again for similar reasons. We saw conflicts that felt familiar. And sometimes when a show reaches that point, it means the writers are running out of fresh story ideas. That does not mean the show is bad. It just means it has been running for so long that finding new story paths becomes difficult. If season 20 includes Amy marrying again, moving away, and possibly having a baby, that could feel like the perfect ending for her story. It would feel like a full circle moment. We started Heartland with Amy as a young girl dealing with trauma and pain, and if we end with her as a woman who has healed, built a new family, and moved into a new chapter, that would be a fitting ending. It would be emotional, complete, and satisfying in many ways. So yes, I think season 20 could be the final season, and it would make sense if the writers choose to end it there. But at the same time, Heartland could continue in another way. The show has many younger characters now, and the writers might want to keep the Heartland universe alive even if Amy's story reaches a natural ending. That is why a spin-off could be possible. Imagine a spin-off focusing on Katie, Dax, and River, showing their lives, their relationships, and their future. It could give Heartland a new energy while keeping the same heart and family themes. I think fans would actually enjoy that, especially if the original show ends on a strong note. So even if season 20 is the last, it does not mean Heartland would have to disappear completely. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think will happen in season 20? Do you think Amy will accept Nathan's proposal right away? Do you think Amy should marry Nathan? Do you think moving to Salt Spring Island is the right step for her? And what about the baby theory? Does that feel like something Heartland would do, or do you think it would be too much? And of course, do you think season 20 should be the final season, or should Heartland continue for years and years? No matter what happens, one thing is clear. Season 20, if it happens, is going to be huge. The cliffhanger ending, the proposal, the possible wedding, the possible move, and all the side story drama means we are heading into a season that could change everything. And honestly, that is what makes Heartland special. It is not just a show about horses or ranch life. It is a show about family, love, healing, and the way life forces us to grow even when we do not want to. And if season 20 gives us Amy choosing happiness again, it will be one of the most emotional and memorable seasons we have ever seen. So yes, Heartland fans, keep your eyes open for renewal news. And keep your theories ready, because as soon as we get official updates, the excitement is going to explode. And until then, let's keep talking, keep guessing, and keep supporting the show we all love. Write your predictions, share your thoughts, and let's meet in the comments, because I truly believe the best part of being a Heartland fan is sharing this journey together.